what up, unicorns? It's Eric Abrom here, and welcome to another episode of the UX Unicorns Podcast. I get my singing out the way early. Look, man, how's everybody doing? Happy holidays, happy holidays. Look, I know this is not traditional Eric doing a podcast before Sunday, but you know what? I had a pretty cool, interesting opportunity yesterday that I kind of want to just touch on before I forget about it. So that's kind of the reason why we're doing the podcast right now. Eric, what are you talking about? What happened yesterday? Well, yesterday I kind of completed one of my goals, was to basically give a talk about UX, but this kind of talk was more or less about my UX journey, and it was with that one company I talked about. It was with Design Service Atlanta. I think that's it. Yeah, this Service Design Network, ATL. So it was a pretty cool experience. It was originally, I think it was supposed to be like 6 people. It kind of went down to 4 people. So I was second. So off this list we have Abby. Shouts out to you. Good job. Then myself went second. And then Janavia. I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm really sorry. Shouts out to you. Great job. And Maria, also good job. And I hope we connect in the future as well. But yeah, it was pretty cool experience, man. It had about, I want to say 20 to 25 people on the panel. And so, all 4 of us, shouts out to John too. He did the whole emceeing of it all. But pretty cool thing where we got to talk about our UX experience and give like a 6-slide presentation for 6 minutes. Each slide was supposed to be 1 minute. I think I went a little bit shorter than that. But basically what I talked about was my design journey, basically what really kicked me in the butt to go into user experience. I talked about how being a graphic designer sucked. Because look, nobody's really honest when they talk about their past and as far as like their design journey, because I get hit up all the time in YouTube, and people always tell me that they watch my video about, how I got a UX job in 3 months. And I talk about how being a graphic designer sucked for me. Yeah, I'm going to keep talking about this story because it's real. It's what happened. But nobody really wants to talk about that particular part of their past, or their past experience as working. They want to try to present it like it was all positive, it was all cool, I learned this, just like toxic positivity 101. Like, let's just be real. Yes, there were some good things in it, but why did you leave? What motivated you to want to switch careers? But nobody talks about that motivation to why they wanted to switch careers. They always talk about, oh, I found UX and I thought it was great and it was amazing. That's fine too, but what drove you to even want to go out and even research that particular career field? Because the career field you were in, you didn't enjoy, right? So people, let's just be honest with ourselves and not try to put this like crazy, super positive spin on everything. Everything doesn't have to be super positive, right? It could be, you could get in your feelings like Drake. You can get in your feeling. You can get in your feelings, man. And that's what I was kind of shining a light on. But yeah, I just basically said like, being a graphic designer sucked and I didn't enjoy it. Like, yes, I did my internships. I did Disney. I worked at a couple of mom and pop places. I worked at some giant companies, etc. But I would say around like year 5, I did not enjoy it anymore. I would say around like year 4, it was really a crazy battle because, man, you just don't realize how much you don't get paid for your services. And you do a lot, you do so much for these companies, and they want to pay you pennies. And so therefore, this is kind of normal in the design community where you might be at a job 1 or 2 years and you go on to the next. This is not abnormal. Like, I'm not sure many people stay in the same like design role for like 20, 30 years. I don't think that's happening anymore. I think you might get there 5 years, maybe 7. If you're a 10-year, it's almost like, what are you doing? You might want to, I'm not saying to move on, but like, are you growing after that, after that particular point within the business? Like, what else can you offer that company that you basically bled into? Could somebody else benefit from what you've provided or what you've been doing for so many years? Who knows? I'm not saying to do that, but all I'm saying is, you know, I don't want to just try to say like, oh, me being a graphic designer was all freaking sunshine and rainbows. It was like that in the beginning, as everything is. But in that relationship with graphic design, I wanted to move on. It's not you. Actually, it is you. So I'm going to leave. It's like people say, it's not you, it's me. Nah, motherfucker, it is you. And I'm out. I gotta go. But the talk was pretty cool. I basically talked about that. I talked about that being how a graphic designer sucked, and you know how I had that aha moment when I talked to Cliff at Salesforce, and he said, you know, either there are tons of people out there who are applying for jobs who are not qualified. Like, what's stopping you? And that was kind of that's kind of like the grab out that John had from that whole thing. That's the only thing he kind of pulled out of that, which is fine. It was the most positive thing you could pull out of the talk, I guess. I'm not trying to be too cynical, but that's pretty much what really led me to applying for a role. But really, what really led me down to actually making the switch was my wife and her encouragement and her support. That's what really tipped me over. Like, yes, around year 5, I hated doing graphic design, but I never pulled the trigger, did all the research and everything like that. It wasn't until 3, 4 years after that when I actually made the switch and took the boot camp course, got the job, quit the job, all this other jazz. If it wasn't for my wife pushing me over the edge and supporting me and encouraging me to do that, I would not be where I'm at, because I would have never made the switch because I didn't feel confident enough to do it. In a sense, she gave me confidence to go out and do those things. And also, we're married, so she can support me. I wouldn't ask a girlfriend to do that. I wouldn't ask a companion, a friend. You might, but to me, I don't think I wouldn't, because you know, at the end of the day, she has my last name, and you know that means a lot, because like that means she's with me. She's dedicated, and I'm dedicated to her. She's dedicated to me, and what that is, you know, we made our vows till death do us part. To what was those again? Good or bad, thick or thin, whatever that was. She did that, right? She came through on that. And I'm doing the same for her. Now she's making that switch over to user experience from being a behavioral therapist or analyst. I forget which one it is. Sorry, babe. But she has a degree in psychology. So her background is definitely gonna be beneficial for user experience. So it's like that give and take thing. Like, she helped me out, I'm helping her out. And now we help each other, because now we're able to speak the same languages, because she knows what I'm talking about. I know what she's talking about. So it's not like, what are you saying? I don't want to do that. So that's the reason why I say, man, it's like, there's a reason why you make that switch. And just because it started out at negative doesn't mean it has to end negatively. So yes, I made a, you know, start wanting to go into user experience because I hated my job. But when I got into user experience, I love doing it. I love talking about it. As you see, there's a whole damn podcast called UX Unicorns talking about UX content and some other stuff, because you know what you signed up for. I have to say it every podcast because I don't want you guys to get upset when I'm talking about other stuff. But yeah, to go back to the event. So everybody had some pretty interesting things to say about the reason why they made the switch and the reason why they did certain things. But like I say, like we go back to that podcast I did last week. We talked about branding. I was pretty much talking about ugly unicorns and UX unicorns podcast as a whole, as well as my UX journey. Because guess what, guys? It's a part of me. It's a part of my brand. And when I'm out there talking and represent, I gotta represent this. I gotta represent ugly unicorns in me because I'm attached to that. So, like I do in Eric Abram fashion, well, I got the ugly unicorns hat on. I had the ugly unicorn shirt on. Not right now. This is a different shirt, but it's pretty dope. It says arm bars in Star Wars font. Pretty cool. If you can't see it, go to the YouTube video. It's a pretty dope shirt. And so like I was talking about my UX journey, but I also wanted to weave in talking about ugly unicorns and talk about UX unicorns because that's also a part of my design journey. And that also goes back to what I talked about last week, episode 8, was about branding yourself and your own personal brand, and that being a part of my brand. And a lot of people on the talk, they didn't do that. They didn't talk about like they didn't present themselves as a particular brand or business. They just presented themselves as who they were, and they were attaching themselves to their company that they work for. And so like so basically the people that they work for is a part of their identity. So I'm not saying this could be good or bad what I'm about to say, but if that's always the case, that who you work for is attached to your identity, what happens if you no longer work for that particular business anymore? Does your identity stay with them? Do you take that? Do you try to leverage that? Let's say you work at Google. You work there for 2-3 years and you no longer work at Google. And only reason why people wanted to talk to you is because you worked at Google. So what happens if you no longer work there? Do people still want to talk to you? I don't know. But I don't believe that you should attach yourself to a particular company to try to uplift yourself. As we go back to I talked about last week, it's like, your own personal brand needs no one else but you. Not a business, not a person, it's you. So when you create that branding around your name and your identity, then you attach that to yourself. So for example, Ugly Unicorns, that's me. It's attached to me. It is me. I created the name. I branded it. I marketed it. That's me. It dies with me. It goes with me. And at the same time, it's because, and also I call it Ugly Unicorns because it could be whatever it wants. So if I eventually do want to sell the name or the patent or whatever, I can do that, and I can detach myself from it if I want to. So that goes back to, how do you want to brand yourself? Do you want to brand yourself as, ericabrambusiness.com or uglyunicornsbusiness.com? One of those you can sell easily. One of those can be kind of hard to sell unless you're like Ralph Lauren or whatever. You branded your name so well that you could sell the actual Ralph Lauren, the actual name of a person, to somebody, and they'll see some value in that. But that's another discussion. So that's basically what happened when I gave my talk. Yeah, it was a little bit about me and my design journey, but at the same time, I'm trying to market me as Ugly Unicorns. I'm trying to market Ugly Unicorns, UX Unicorns, because at the end of the day, that's what I do. Yes, I do this stuff to try to give back to the UX community. At the same time, I can't do this for free, bruh. I can't do everything for free, bruh. It is what it is. Like, if you want to become a thought leader in the space, you got to present yourself as a thought leader in the space. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I do this platform at the end of the day, because I'm trying to present myself as a thought leader. I do think of myself as a thought leader. I talk to my managers all the time about the things that I do, about the podcast, about the YouTube, and he's very encouraging, and he's wants me to keep doing more of that, right? Keep doing more of what I'm doing. And also I talked to him about doing the whole UX talks and going on panels. He's like, yeah, keep doing more of that, because that will present yourself as a thought leader in the space. If people can hear how you think, if people can glean some inspiration or whatever from you and take some of the advice that they might even catch a couple of golden nuggets from what some of the things you say, because some things that you say might resonate with them, and they'll be like, man, that Eric Abram guy, he has a point. And I've done a little bit of that already. And when I talk about, how I got a UX job in 3 months, a lot of people who were graphic designers reached out to me and said, dude, I feel the exact same way. I'm like, yo, sister, brother, we in this together. How can I help you? Right? If you feel that way, let me show you how to overcome those feelings and get to where you want to go. Right? And that to me is what it's all about. Is though, yeah, other people who don't have a design background, they're going to hear this and they're going to take something from it as well. But I always have to come at an angle from a former graphic designer or a former designer. And a lot of people who resonate with me the most are former designers. Why? Because we all shared the same experience. We all been there. We all done that. We've all been on these horrible platforms that contributed and didn't get paid, and people not doing this. It's insane. So the things that I talk about come out as in my past and the things that I used to do, but sometimes I'm connecting with people who are currently doing those things. I just hit my mic. Who are currently doing those things that I've already done. And maybe I can steer you guys into a direction where you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. And that's what it's all about. When I say I'm giving back, I mean, I'm saying I'm trying to help you guys out as far as like, how could I mentor, shape, coach, whatever, through the platform, through the podcast, through the website, through whatever. Because at the end of the day, we in this together. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a UX team of one. That's no longer a team, bruh. You need more than one person to have a team, bruh. That's all I'm saying, bruh. But yeah, so basically I was just trying to they were doing it too. They were plugging their social media accounts and their YouTube channels, et cetera, basically using us as that that bait to draw people in to hear people talk. We didn't get paid for this. This was free. This is pro bono, right? And so I don't know if they sell memberships or courses or whatever, but you got to remember, we signed up to this for free. They ask us. I'm like, yeah, I look at it as a good promotional piece for me, for myself, for Ugly Unicorns and UX Unicorns, the podcast. And so that's how I see it. And they look at it as, yo, we're going to do the exact same thing Eric's doing, but we're going to use Eric, put him on our platform so he can talk about what he does as a designer. And I don't see anything wrong with that. You gotta get in when you fit in. I gotta reach as many people as possible. I gotta reach your audience. I gotta reach his audience. I gotta reach her audience. I gotta reach their audience. I gotta reach my audience. Because at the end of the day, think about Joe Rogan's podcast. He has a huge audience in the following, and people recognize that, and people want to leverage that. So they go into his podcast and they start talking about the things that they do, the products that they sell, the courses that they teach, et cetera, because they're trying to leverage his platform. And that's all I was doing too. I was trying to leverage their platform. Granted, their platform is not that big, but anything is better than zero. Anything is better than zero. So yeah, that was pretty cool, man. And that was actually part of my one of my goals for this year. So hold on one second as I reach back and pull that particular goal off the wall. Hold on. I'll show you on camera. You guys think I'm joking. So I'm going to show this camera right here first. Boom. I wrote that down. I'm going to show this camera too. Hopefully it catches it. Probably not. Boom. Y'all see that? If you can't see it, that means you're probably in your car driving 60 miles an hour, listening to this golden voice, this voice of a golden goose. That means you need to stop, pull up to a parking lot, go to a Wendy's, get you a freaking fry and a drink, sit down, open your phone up, and go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and look at the goal I wrote. I'm not gonna say it. Hold on. I'm not gonna say it because I'm trying to get you guys to go to both places. This is why I do this thing. So I put it here too. Again, so this goal for 2020 is done. Yes, there are more to come because I do want to do more of these, but this first one is done. So listen to me, crinkle it up. Then you throw it and you tell your wife that you made a mess and you clean it up because she's going to be mad at you for throwing paper all over the damn floor. But anyway, so that is my second goal. When I wrote these goals down, that's the second goal that I accomplished this year. And I'm on track to do more. So 2021, look out. I got even more goals I got to put on this board because I'm losing a lot of goals, guys. I'm actually taking these off the board way too fast. I got to slow down. Slow down, partner. Slow down, player. But if you guys didn't check out the event, there will be more events to come. There'll be more talks to come. Hell, I might even host one myself. I might even host me a panel discussion because at the end of the day, that's what you got to do to get your name out there. You got to host these panel discussions. You got to bring people to there because guess what? Those people who are attached to other people and those people bring more people. And at the same time, people can get more out of just listening to me talk. I mean, I might bring my friends on, might bring my wife on, might bring other people on in the industry that do UX and talk about their experience and reason why they got into it, etc. And you guys can get something out of that as well versus just hearing it from me. I get it. My voice is nice. I get it. You like watching the YouTube video. I get it. You like going to uglyunicorns.com and copping the merch. I get it. But at the same time, what else could I do to bring value to you guys? That might be bringing people on in the industry who know a lot more than me. I have no problem with saying that. Your boy Eric Abram don't know everything. Why am I talking to third person? I don't know everything. And I don't claim to do or to know everything or to be, to what? To do, to what? I don't claim to know everything. I ain't got all the answers, Sway. I ain't got all the answers. I got some answers though. You can count on that. I'm gonna use it like a Disney, like how it used to be at Disney. Like if you had a question and nobody knew on your team, guess what? They reached out. They reached out to find the answer for you. So you ain't got to do it. So therefore, I put in the work for you. You're welcome, guys. It's all good. So if you guys can check it out, we'll do another one. I honestly think I'm gonna do a panel one too. I got a Zoom account. Shit, I'm gonna try it. But anyways, have you guys checked out what's popping at Figma lately? Bruh, sister, girl, mom, dad, uncles. This is crazy. Creating and organizing variants. Bruh. When I seen this, I was thinking like, you know what? Figma is sleeping. Y'all sleeping on Figma. I'm sleeping on Figma. Man, I swear. I came to this game. I tried Sketch. I didn't like it. I tried XD. I told myself that I loved it. I tried Figma. I said, now I love this more than XD. And then I left Figma alone for some reason. I left her down. I let her go. And then she went and got upgraded. What? I'm sorry, Figma. I didn't know. I didn't know you could do this. I had no idea that you was going to get upgraded. Man. Hey, I'm not one to promote other stuff without being a sponsor or whatever. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are not checking out Figma right now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to become a Figma homer. I'm about to reach out to one of these I'm about to reach out to the freaking owner of this Figma and see how can I get on and be a brand ambassador for Figma because I'm impressed. I am thoroughly impressed. I'm impressed. The stuff that you can do with Figma with this whole variance thing is amazing. Basically, they have this example of buttons where in a design system, you have buttons for like desktop, buttons for mobile. You have the different button states, focus, damn, I can't remember the different states, disabled, hover, etc. Default, buttons with icons, button without icons, etc. I keep hitting my microphone. This is going to take your design system and slim it down as far as like how you use the component. Because right now, with Adobe XD, you have to go in and make all the different states for the button, right? All within the same button. So you make your button, you hit Command K, it turns it into a component. Then you click on the plus sign next to that, you create a new state. Let's say you do focus state. You got to go back into that component, change that particular state, and then go back. So you're designing one button multiple times within that same button. But how Figma does it is pretty awesome. I'm able to go in, long as your naming convention is good, this will work. I'm able to create my focus button, my disable button, my hover button, my different sizes, my button with the icon, and I can visually see them all. I can see them all in one place. Adobe XD does not do this. I can see them all in one place, right? I can then select all those different states. Like I said, the naming convention has to be on point for this to work. You select them all. Then you select make variants. Do you not know that this program is smart enough to recognize your naming convention and put them into categories? So now you have one button component with all the variants. One button that will change size, one button that will change color, one button that would change my throat's dry. One button that would change the different instances of the button, and also one button that will add or subtract an icon from it. One button. Bruh. Your design system just got 12 pounds lighter off of buttons, man. Think about that. That is so dope. Man, Figma. Yeah, I'm sorry, Figma. I didn't know. I didn't know you could do all this. And this is so dope. This is probably the sexiest thing I've seen on the internet thus far. And speaking of not sexy, so this was back in, I want to say October. Your boy's a little late. I get it. I'm a little late, but I do want to talk about it. And I do want to rant just a smidge. So, do you guys remember when Google put out their new icon, but people calling them logos, for their particular application? So like Mail, Drive, Sheets, I think this is the video one, and then Calendar. I don't know how I skipped Calendar. And people were complaining about, yo, this is so ugly. Why would they do this? This makes no sense. They all look the same, et cetera, et cetera. How am I able to distinguish which application I'm going to be clicking on? These buttons, these icons are ugly. You know what, guys? Y'all need to shut the hell up because y'all gonna love these later. Let me just say this. People do not like change. I ain't talking about changing your car under your seat that you can go buy some bubble gum with. I'm talking about change as in different. People don't like it. And the fact that people were this upset about something that they cannot control lets me know how their life is. This is stupid. This is the dumbest conversation to ever have. Why is there a whole article on October 6th on TechCrunch about Google's new logos and how bad they are? Who said they were bad? Who said that these logos are bad? Sorry. You did? You said they're bad? You said they're bad. Who made you authority of all to say that these are bad? This is the thing with design, and this is why I hate subjective shit. They don't know why these icons came out to be the way they are. They don't know that. Google is a huge company with unlimited, well, resources out there. I'm gonna take some water real quick, guys. Sorry about that. With unlimited resources, unlimited budget on like research and development, R&D and all that other stuff, they probably did test all these icons. They probably had multiple upon multiple sets of icons, and they tested it. They tested the performance of it, how lightweight they would be, how they would respond on different applications, etc. They probably tested with users on recognition and a user distinguished each one of these based on what was previously created, right? They probably had a preference test where they had this collection of icons versus another collection, and this one probably won. You guys are saying that these logos are bad, but you can't say why they are bad. All you can say is like, oh, they kind of look the same. Maybe that's the fucking point. Maybe the point is to drive consistency within their whole suite of applications, because it needs to look like a system, a unit, a suite, right? That's the reason why they look the same. As you can see, like the very top ones, they started to get away from the whole like, anamorphic, I'm probably saying that wrong, but the whole shadow and stuff like that, it just looks outdated, right? But people are like, oh, I love these look so cool. Like maybe that's not the direction Google wants to go in anymore. So maybe these icons were created for a reason. I'm not going to go into reading this freaking article about talking about how bad they are. But people are like, oh, why do they use so many colors? And then there's somebody posted like, what Google sees, what I see. Well, clearly what you see is weird because you're seeing all squares. Only one of these icons are a square. Only one is a square, and that's the calendar one. So you're saying you can only see calendar ones? I see an M, I see a triangle, I see a house, I see a calendar one, I see a drop for maps, the pin location. What you talking about? And the crazy thing is, a lot of these companies are doing this. It's like, guys, why are we getting upset over nothing? Why? Why do we as people take the most basic, mundane shit and blow it up and have freaking blog articles on TechCrunch about it and have Eric Abrom do a whole dang podcast about it? Why? Okay. Because you have nothing else to do at your time. That's all I can think. Google's out here. Now, yes, they're collecting our data, whatever, but they're using it. They're using it for good, I guess. I don't know. Don't judge me on that. But Google out here doing things to try to help the world, and you just living in it. You're bringing drama to it. You're complaining about logos, bruh. Why are you complaining about logos and COVID out here killing folk? This shit's stupid. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, man, who cares? Honestly, who cares if Google changes their logos to all look like the poop emoji? Who gives a damn? Because guess what? At the end of the day, You all are going to use their products. Let me say it again. At the end of the day, you all are going to use their products. So what you complaining about? What you whining for? You still gonna use them, no? Hey, that kind of rhyme, bruh. I'm about to go back to rapping. Knick knack, paddywhack, give it like a bone jack. Not like that. But yeah, if you guys listen to the intro, I freestyled that whole thing. Interesting fact. No writtens, bruh. Off the top of the dome, bruh. Top of the dome, bruh. But yeah, man, I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. Like people getting upset over Google's icon logos, whatever the hell they're calling these. And I personally, I don't give a damn. So maybe nobody ever asked my opinion. So I'm gonna give it anyway. I don't care. I probably peaked the level on that one. But yeah, I'm just giving my 2 cents, even though I am almost over 2 months late on this topic. It just there's something that was brought up, I think a couple weeks ago about these. I keep seeing this damn shit in my LinkedIn feed. I'm about to just block whoever's posting this crap anyway. And I'm just like, yeah, man, I don't care about what Google does. As long as my experience works and my Gmail works, I don't care, dude. I'm not even gonna read this. So, anyways, that's what Google's doing for us design. Speaking of design, this is article again about, what is it talking about? 8 UI UX trends. Okay, guys. The naming here, you guys already know how I feel about the whole UI UX shit. Why are you talking about UX? After going through this article, not one of these things is referencing a process or a usability. They're talking about visually. So just say UI trends, bruh. Damn. Why can't we do that? I guess there's something here. I guess I was kind of wrong, but I still hate it though. All right, so let me just go through these. So, 8 UI UX trends for 2020. Well, 2020 almost over, so I need her to put this podcast out. And I will try to do a podcast on Sunday as well as my normal time, but this is just a little bonus thing for you guys. I'm just talking trizash. Animated illustrations. Don't we already have that? This is what I hate about trends. Bruh, these ain't trends, man. It's just that one company did it and not everybody's following it. That doesn't mean it's a trend. That means y'all some damn followers, not leaders in the space. That's all I'm hearing. Like, yo, how do we get to a point where we're no longer following trends? We setting trends in user experience. How do we get to that point? Yo, someone let me know in the comments. Let's chat about it because I want to hear about how can we become leaders and not these damn followers. Don't be a sheep, bruh. But yeah, animated illustration. I was doing animated illustrations 4 years ago. And I'm thinking like, okay, when you're making this into an app, how heavy is it on the application? Is this a CSS animation? Is it JavaScript? Like, how heavy would this be? Are these SGVs being animated? I just want to know, like, if you do this, what's the performance on the back end and how quickly does it serve up to the user? That's what y'all gotta think about, man. Y'all just doing shit visually, and it don't make no damn sense, man. Like, how this is gonna affect the user on their phone, and do they have an older phone that is even capable of handling these type of animations? And what are they doing on the back end to even serve these animations? Y'all even thinking about that? I didn't think so. Number 2, micro interactions. Really? Bruh. Hold on. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Micro interactions? Micro interactions is a trend in user experience? Really? This is a trend. Man, y'all need to stop. Micro interactions is a trend. Are you fucking kidding me? Why would that be a trend? Why would it? So basically, you're telling me, you're telling me that micro interaction. I can't even talk. I'm so tickled. You're telling me that micro interactions is a trend and that it will go away in 2021, or it's going to go away anytime soon. No, dude, it is not going to go away because users need feedback. Dude, micro interactions is always, I can't say always, has been a part of user experience for a while. Yes, it's called feedback. Are you kidding me? Micro interactions is a trend. I can't believe this is on a list. Okay. Okay. Another one. 3D graphics and web and mobile UI. Once again, I go back and say, how big of a lift would this be to present this to the user? And what does it do to their device? What does it do to their browser to present such a process intensive type of deal? I don't know. I don't know. I would need to talk to a developer and ask them, like, yo, how does this impact the speed of the application? I know in these 3D little things, it's showing like, oh, it's super quick. Like, but duh, these are mock ups. These are mock ups. In the real world, how do these 3D things pop up? And I agree. This is definitely a trend because, bruh, I'm looking at this right now. This shit's already outdated, bruh. And 2020 is still here. Like, I am not a fan of 3D shit at all. Unless it's like a car, maybe. I could see how that could work. Or maybe you're just doing like a product breakdown or whatever, like what Apple does with their iPods and iPhones and iJazz and iBlast and whatever the hell whatever the hell they do with eyes. I could see how that would work. But at the same time, they're not doing it all the time. This is the thing with trends, man. Sometimes companies, dude, they would jump on a trend and just build their whole website application based off of that trend. That means every year you got to change it because you're following a trend. I'm not saying not to follow trends. I'm just saying you ain't got to do all of them and you ain't got to jump head first into trends. Look, I understand like you don't want to be behind the times, you don't want to look outdated, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, how do you become a trendsetter? How does your application and device look timeless from day one? Yes, there will be some iterations. Yes, there will be some changes and all this other stuff. But you should not build your whole shit off a trend, bruh. Because guess what? As soon as you're building something off a trend now, right? And let's say you're building an app in 2020 and you're building it off a trend. And your timeline of release is like 1 or 2 years because there's people involved. Now your timeline's being pushed back. And then there's a new trend. Do you go back and redo what you did 2 years ago? Because now that trend is outdated. Do you go back and you see what I'm saying? You get stuck in the trend loop. Oh, it's a new one. I got to go back through these podcasts and write down all these little things that I say. Now it's a trend loop. You can't get out of the trend loop, bruh. You stuck in a trend loop. Like, it's like that one movie with Tom Cruise where he kept dying and coming back to the same damn location. He would get a little bit further. I forget what that movie's called, but man, that's like hell to me. That is hell. I think that's what hell is. In this loop of the same part of your life every day, and that is crazy. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, he dies. He wakes up back in the same spot. And he gets a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. And then boom, he's back. He's stuck in a trend loop. He can't get out of the trend loop. He can't release a product because he's stuck in a trend loop. Damn. Because as soon as you release that product, it's out of date. Now you can go back and be like, hey guys, for next year, we're going to do 3D animation. For next year, we're doing micro interactions. Oh my God. All right. I didn't see much of this, but it says virtual reality. Virtual reality is definitely not a trend. It is a change in freaking culture. That's what that is. How do you get enough people on board to do this particular thing to make it a norm? You're changing with virtual reality, you're changing behaviors now. You're changing how people interact with an experience now. The biggest one is like VR gaming. That's a different type of experience versus sitting on my couch playing my Xbox and doing it through that way. Now you have this giant freaking headset on. You're basically super submersed into a different experience. Basically, you got your 80-inch TV at your face and using whatever these hand things are. You're changing how people. Now you just paint. Now this is changing people's behavior, and I don't think changing people's behavior is a trend. That is a long-term play that you have to figure out. Like, okay, we're creating these games, we're creating these experiences, but when you in the first starting phases, people are not on board because they're not familiar with that particular experience. They have to try it out. They hear about their friends doing it, et cetera, et cetera. And so now you're trying to change the behavior. You're trying to ingrain that particular experience into everyday reality for particular users. And that's why Quibi fucked up. They were trying to change users' experience and they put all this money into it, but they weren't trying to do a long-term play. They came out red hot and they failed red hot. It was insane. They didn't have a long-term play. And I think that's why most companies are trying to figure out, how do we adopt virtual reality into our particular business, into our particular product? It's kind of hard, I guess. Like, how would you use that? It requires hardware, like extra hardware, not just a phone. Speaking of phones, number 5, augmented reality. Now, this one I like a lot. Eric Abrom loves him some augmented reality. I can see this. This is not a trend either. This is not a trend. Augmented reality is once again, I think it's ahead of virtual because you can do it now. You can do augmented now because we have these cell phones. We have computers with cameras. We have cell phones with cameras. We have iPods with cameras. Dude, it's already here. We just got to figure out, how do we use it for the products that we have now? And that's it. Augmented reality, I wouldn't say it's a trend because when I hear the word trends, I think of like MC Hammer pants and stonewashed jeans. Them shits ain't ever coming back. And if they do, God bless your soul. You need to move away from Seattle. I'm not saying all people from Seattle wear stonewashed jeans, but I figured that's where it will originate and come back to life. So don't do it. But yeah, augmented reality. This one I do like. And think about this. Augmented reality now with voice integration. Think about it. Let's say I have my iPhone. I have my AirPods, right? I have my augmented reality. I can talk to Siri, right? And she could display stuff for me on the phone or whatever, right? But in an augmented reality sense, I'm saying, like, I think Google kind of does this where like you can hold up the phone on street maps and see like different reviews of different restaurants and get directions, et cetera, et cetera. That to me is dope. That is the start of something beautiful. The start of something very, very, very beautiful. Even with Snapchat and even Zoom has a little bit of that, where like you're in a Zoom call and you can put stuff on your face, you can put stuff in the background, and it moves with you. That's AR, guys. That's augmented reality. But they're using your movement to do that. But I think the next step is it's showing like you have stuff in the background, right? Sort of like Pokemon Go. We're like, that's augmented reality too. I think in the beginning that was a particular trend back then, but now businesses are trying to figure out how do we include augmented reality into a space. And I think the perfect space to add augmented reality is in the education space. Hear me out. Hear me out. How cool would it be if you were a kid, 5 years old, and you got an iPad? Bruh, I don't know how you got an iPad. I just got one, bruh. How you got an iPad and you 5? But anyway, thank God bless your mom and dad. But you got an iPad. And let's say you got a math assignment. And now, instead of saying, John has 2 cats, if you take 1 cat away, how many cats does John have? Now you can fucking put those, the kid can put the iPad up and have it point to whatever, and he can see the cats on the screen coming in and out of frame. How dope would that be? He can see live things being counted. He can see live instructions on different types of things because people are more visually learning. I mean, I know I am. It'd be cool if I had Siri read it. If I had Siri read out what it was, I can hear it, I can read it, and then at the same time, augmented reality comes into play where it shows me in like real life scenario. Dude, that's dope. And I can tap on it, I can click it, I can move them, whatever. I can move the screen around. I can record myself interacting with like fake Lego blocks and moving things around and stuff like that. That to me is dope. I love me some AR, and I want to get somebody on the podcast who's doing AR currently in their space, and I want to know how it works for them. Yeah, I think even Starbucks is doing a little bit of AR right now. You know, would it have like collect these different kind of stars, and it's almost like Pokemon Go, where you're able to look around your room and all of a sudden a star pops up and you click on that star and you can get points or whatever. It's pretty dope, man. Also, IKEA furniture could leverage AR 100%. That's another good one. Furniture stores. Let's say you go into your new apartment. This podcast is about to be over soon, but you can go to your apartment. You hold up your cell phone and say like, I like this IKEA chair, I like this table. You can basically put your whole damn living room set in, hold it up, and you can place it wherever you want, and it gives you the total of like, all right, you got all this jazz. It's gonna cost you $2,000. Add the cart. Yes, add the cart. Cool. Add the cart, and you're able to buy directly from the screen right there. Because what other way to show proof is to show proof? Just show it on the screen. Like, this is what it's going to potentially look like. This looks amazing. And I think Apple's phones already do that, where they can actually take measurements just based off the freaking camera lens. That's pretty dope. And think about if IKEA could leverage that technology already, they can have people show like, oh yeah, they can go from each room. You could pick like living room, bedroom, bathroom, etc. And you go to each room, right? And you just click on it, boom, and it automatically populates the area with the furniture. You go in the bathroom, boom, it automatically pops the area with all the knickknacks you want. Boom, even deck, right? You go outside, you can put like grill, patio furniture, etc. You click on the tab, you hold your phone up, boom, it automatically populates furniture that match your particular space because it's taking the measurements in real time. That's dope. That's dope. Where you automatically go in. Let's say this. Let's say you don't pick any furniture at all, and in machine learning or whatever, picks it for you based off like the things that you like used to buy, things you like, or maybe they ask you like some questions before you even get into the application, and it kind of already has like a particular style that you like, right? So let's say you take that and you go into your brand new apartment in your house and you hold up your phone and it automatically places furniture where it would need to be placed in your particular style that you like. Based on the room size, it would choose a certain amount of tables, it would choose a certain amount of couches and chairs based on how you hold up the phone. Dude, that's dope. That way, you as a user, you don't have to choose anything if you don't want to. And if you want to choose a different type of table, you just tap on it and it says, which one would you like to choose, Susan or Eric? I want the modern, mid-century modern table with the gold legs. You got it, and it's right there. So, number 6 was new morphism. I don't think that's ever going to take off. As cool as this may look to some, this shit is trash. I do not like new morphism at all. Generally speaking, skeuomorphism design refers to design elements that are created in a realistic style. I get it. But new morphism? No. Nope. I don't like these. I do not like these. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. I'm not even going to show you because them shits look like, dude, it's just, this is not, I hope this never takes off. This is the worst shit. How would a user gain benefit from this look? This is definitely a trend. If you do this, if you do this particular style in your app, you're going to have to change it in 30 days because it's going to be out of style very, very quickly. This is one of those trends you don't want to do. You don't want to build your whole app off of this. This is ridiculous. Don't like it. Number 7, asymmetrical layouts. Okay, that's cool. Not many big on this one, I guess. Number 8, storytelling. Really, bruh? Really? Really, bruh? This goes back to micro interaction. Storytelling's a trend? Are you serious? Storytelling, a trend. Really, bruh? That's all I do. That's all I do is tell stories to try to get my point across because I'm trying to paint a picture. What are we talking about here? Some of these stuffs, man, I don't know who's writing these stupid ass articles, but y'all need to do more research on what user experience is. Storytelling, bruh. Really? That is a part of the job. That's not a trend. That's what we do. Micro interactions. That's not a trend. That's what we do. Now, neumorphism, throw it in the trash. That's a trend. And I hope that shit is like hammer pants and it never comes back. For sure. But anyways, guys, that has been the podcast. It has been an hour. My throat is dry. I need to get some water right now. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys for listening. Sometimes things are a little crazy right now. So I'm hoping that, me being in your earlobes really brings some spark to your day, hopefully. And I hope that you learn something from this podcast. You probably never will, but some of you might. Some of you might listen to this like, oh yeah, he makes a little sense. Or like, this dude has no idea what he's talking about. And guess what? You're both right. You're both right. But anyways, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ugly Unicorns, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast, UX Unicorns. You can get the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, you can get it there. You can also go to my Anchor account there as well and check it out. And also just go to uglyunicorns.com. You can see it there as well. I'm just trying to put it out for wherever you guys want to listen to it or see it on the YouTube channel, whatever. Just make sure you subscribe, man. Help your boy out. That's all I ask. Like, what's the best way to support a person for free? Just subscribe, like, comment. All that stuff is free. And how much time does that actually take? I don't know how much time it takes to click subscribe, but I think it takes like half a second to click subscribe. It might take you even shorter than that to hit the like button, or even shorter than that to even subscribe to the podcast. But yeah, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment below about how your week was. I want to hear more about from what you guys are doing nowadays, and how are you guys using these trends like sprinkles on ice cream. Like, yeah, a little bit's nice, but too much will ruin your ice cream. Don't ruin your ice cream. Don't do it, guys. Yeah, like I think I'm just hungry. I don't know where I ate ice cream last night. I don't need any more ice cream. But make sure you go to uglyunicorns.com, cop the merch. We got some new shirts on there. And also we got the foundation design kit. Make sure you cop that, like I already talked about in the last podcast. Yeah, UI design is important, but it's not the most important. But it is important that you guys learn your UI, get your UI skills up as well. It will make you more valuable on the team because you're able to do more things than just what you bring to the table. So bring a little bit more to the table. Don't just bring cups to the party. Bring the damn soda and the ice as well, so that way we can have something to drink with the cups that you bring. With that said, that has been the podcast. I hope everybody has a good holiday. I'm probably going to do another podcast before the holiday because I'm taking off for 2 weeks in December. So I might do a couple more before January. We'll see how it goes. I might take a little hiatus, take a little break because I'm tired. We all tired. But we all tired, Eric. I know we all tired, man. Damn. I'm trying to get this new bed. I'm just joking. Also, speaking of new beds, I didn't get a new bed, but we did get our Peloton in today. Woohoo! Peloton. Yeah, and the guys came in. They didn't really level it good, so I had to go in there and level it myself. Jesus Christ, it's a lot of work. But anyway, I got the new Peloton in today. I think I'm going to go ride that after this. Just get a little workout in because I only worked out once this week, and I'm feeling a little chubby around the midsection from all the ice creams I've been eating. All the ice creams. All of a sudden I have an accent. I don't know what oh my God, all the accents are here. Oh my God, bro, what you doing, right? All right, cool. Anyways, guys, it's been a podcast. I really appreciate you for listening along. And like I always say, don't just be a unicorn. Be an ugly unicorn. Peace. See ya, guys.